PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. We're the podcast that covers everything pop culture and beyond the multiverse. Are you ready to get your geek on? Crank up the DeLorean, warm up the proton packs, toss a coin to your Witcher, and deep dive into your favorite plate of chimichangas. This is PopXcast.
You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast. We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny. Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby. PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
Excelsior, welcome to PopXcast, episode 137. Oh my gosh, it's 2022. As we told you in 136, we'll see you next year. And it's been an entire year since, no, it's actually not. It's only been 4 weeks. But man, Christmas was great this year. I mean, the holidays, the new year. We've had a great time here in the Burke household. How about in the other Burke household? How was your New Year's and Christmas and holidays?
It was great. It was busy, full of snow, to the point where I missed my screening for Scream because
I saw that.
Yeah.
You couldn't scream on the New Year.
No, I couldn't, unfortunately.
Couldn't do
There's
it.
been 2 snowstorms, and tonight they're giving me another one, so we've been preparing for it.
My God, you guys are just getting crapped on.
Makes no sense. We're in Kentucky. This is supposed to happen.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't like snow here.
You know, it's been a while. It's been a while though since Central Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky have gotten snows of the magnitude you guys are getting. So it's weird. About every 8 years, you guys are due for a big one.
Yeah.
You know, and it just so happens this is.
We've had 2. This will make maybe 3. Like, come on.
Oh my gosh. Well, Lindsay, how about the Badger household? How was the holidays, girl?
It was a magical time of the year as usual. We had like some snow dustings, but nothing really to blink an eye at.
Just a little.
Which I'm thankful for.
Okay.
I am not a fan of snow at all.
Neither am I.
So that was completely fine by me. I'm sure my children were disappointed though.
Okay.
Let's see. We've had Christmas, we've had New Year's, and we celebrated a birthday last weekend. So
What?
It's been quite a festive last few weeks.
A festive last few weeks, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a little echo there. Hold on a second. I blink. I know exactly.
Did you push a
what,
button?
I know what the culprit is. I got the culprit right here.
Please stand by.
I got a culprit. Oh my gosh. All right, it should be all right now. Guys, let us know in the chat. But that's cool that we all had a great holiday season. And you know what? 2022 is here. Like we said and promised, we'll be back in the new year. And we're back. And then there's been a lot of things to cover and go on. We're not going to spend too much time in the formalities of the opening segment just because there's a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened in the past 2 weeks since the new year has happened. But with all that said, Austin Burke, are you wanting to roll back into your duties as always?
Oh man, it's
just
been a
kind of
whole year.
kind of glide back into that there.
Yeah, I think I can
Yeah.
do it. All right,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
hey guys, welcome to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm Austin Burke, the Appalachian geek at heart. We would like to welcome everyone joining us live in the PopX.live chat room. Come hang out with us and join the conversation at PopXcast.com. If this is your first time tuning into PopX, the first 10 to 15 minutes or so, we run down the headlines since our last show, last year. And then we deep dive into all things nostalgic on the Retro Rewind. At the halfway point, we hit on the show's topic. And today, oh boy, a little Cobra Kai action, all right?
Got a little Cobra Kai action, and then on the Retro Rewind, 1982's Tron. Oh my gosh, it's going to be good. But also, too, I want to say right before I do my introductory formalities, PopX has officially turned 7.
Oh,
guys,
my goodness.
We are 7 years old. Literally, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, our first show came out January the 27th with Jordan Woods Robinson. It was episode number 1. If you guys don't know that name, Jordan Woods Robinson was a concurring actor on The Walking Dead for about 3 seasons and was also a Blue Man in the Blue Man Group here in Orlando until Blue Man Group moved out of Orlando. But Jordan is still here in Orlando. So basically, Lindsay and Badger and I were sitting in a chat room one night in a defunct platform now known as blab.im. And we were like, hey, you're into geeky stuff.
I remember that conversation.
You remember?
Just like, I've been pondering an idea.
I've been wanting to do something for quite some time. I want to get back into podcasting, and what way better not to talk about comic books and pop culture and movies and series.
And I told him, I was like, I don't know a darn thing about it, but it sounds fun. Let's go.
And so 7 years old. So, we're only at 137 if you look at the counter right now, but it's because we only do every other week. And there was a year there we did every month, which means we were only pushing out about 12 or 13 a year.
Yeah.
So last year was one of our biggest years. We had 24 episodes in 2021. Because 2021 was like at the end of the pandemic, and we were just talking about, all these movies were coming out. There was so much happening, so many series. Yeah, it was a great year. Especially, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki. It's a great year to be a nerd last year. But with all that said, I'm Joseph Burke, Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast and founder of PopXcast. And Lindsay and myself and a host of other amazing creatives on our weekly live streams over on the Creative Multiverse. If you guys look right here on the stream, you'll see there's a QR code right at the bottom right of your screen. You click on that QR code, you'll go directly into the Creative Multiverse Discord channel where you can find and connect with us. There's even a PopXcast thread where we will post updates and show upcoming shows, things like that related to PopX. But come connect with us over there at the Creative Multiverse, and we're smack dab in the middle of our 3rd annual Artnuary. Today is day 19. Can you believe it? Day 19.
That's like almost
crazy.
2/3 of the way.
Today's
down.
word is sitcom.
Perfect.
And you can either draw Betty White, but for me, I'm drawing Alf. I'm drawing Alf. I'm going old school.
Nice.
But so I'll be doing that later tonight on Twitch. But that is it for me.
Nice. Well, you guys know me. I'm Lindsay Badger, your favorite geeky okie. If you guys missed our last episode, I know it's been a while.
Been a couple weeks.
You guys can't remember episode 136. We talked about Spider-Man, No Way Home, and boy, did we break that one down. God, that was a good one.
So good.
And our retro rewind was, of course, the wonderful, beautiful, artistic The Snowman short story in all the geeky retro rewind goodness. So if you want to go catch that replay, it's here on our channel, but it's also on our website, popxcast.com. And all of the other great past shows from the PopX Collective Archive is there as well. So
there you go.
Enjoy all of the PopX goodness there. If you're liking what you're seeing here tonight, please make sure you are clicking on those buttons that make the algorithms happy.
Have us. They love us.
Share all the things, click the buttons, bells, all the things. And if you subscribe, you get to know when we go live next, which is a bonus, so you can make sure to be here with us in the chat room, interacting with us while we're breaking down all of the good topics that we talk about. If you're catching us on the podcast, make sure you guys are giving us those 5-star and glowing, nice, kind reviews. We love them to death, and they definitely help us out. So thank you for that.
Lindsay Badger like a pro.
Yes.
Dang. Girl's got chops, yo. All right, guys. Well, are you guys ready for some news? Because there's been a lot of news this month. All right, let's do it. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. PopX News coming your way.
Extra, read all about it. This is PopX News, coming to you live right here on PopXcast.com.
All right. Austin's leading out the news this week, and Austin, I didn't mean to throw you to the wolves, but this is not the best news. There's several names here that you're going to read, but this one came out just this morning.
And unfortunately, I'm probably going to botch his name, but Gaspard Ulliel? Is that what we've decided on?
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a French actor. And we got all excited about the Moon Knight trailer that came out this weekend. Looked incredible, but and he's one of the stars of that show. Unfortunately, this actor has passed away this weekend due to an apparent skiing accident in the Alps. In Moon Knight, there was a speculation that he was playing Anton Mogart. Fans of the hero will recognize that name as the identity of the Midnight Man. Now that performance will have a tinge of what could have been associated with it. In his home country. Ulliel was on track to become a generational actor, and this is legit. We're not just speaking. He was a major star after doing some research and kind of looking up. French Prime Minister Jean Casteau even put out a tribute on social media, writing, Gaspard grew up with cinema and cinema grew with him. They loved each other madly. It is with a heavy heart that we will no longer see his beautiful interpretations. We have lost a French actor. The actor, and here's the saddest part to me, was 37 years of age.
So young.
So, I mean,
so
ridiculously
young,
young. And this was his first major, like, Moon Knight kind of a coming out party. Hey, this is me. But thankfully, we got that performance, right? So now
we got the performance, but it was also too his official debut, I believe, in American cinema.
It was. And so it's unfortunate that he can't continue that, but at the same time, it's wonderful that we were able to see a little bit of that in Moon Knight. So I'm so happy he was able to finish. But we also want to honorably mention the passing of television icon and star, and this one hit me.
Yeah,
really
it hit me too, Bub.
My God, man! I grew up with Full House. Bob Saget passed away last week in a hotel
right
room.
here. It was
in Orlando.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
It was at the Drury Inn here in Orlando, right off International Drive. He was in the middle of his tour, his comedy tour, and our local news media said something to the effect that there was no foul play expected. And when they found him, the paramedic said his hand was on his chest while he was lying in bed. So they're saying he had a widowmaker. Heart attack, and that's what's coming out. There was no foul play or drugs or anything involved like that because Bob Saget was, for the most part, a clean guy. I mean, he never really he smoked cigars and drank a few scotches, but that's about as crazy as it got for Bob Saget. But you got more. There's more here.
There's more. Unfortunately, we have two more. Sidney Poitier, which Joe, you wanted to bring this one up. We didn't even think because there were so many that have passed
Sidney
away since the beginning
Poitier,
of January.
A great black actor who spearheaded American cinema into new heights, and some of his greatest stuff, Academy Award-winning material. I mean, the guy was just a beast when it came to American cinema and portraying the characters that he portrayed on screen. So, and in light, I know that this past week was Dr. Martin Luther King's, his anniversary. So I just think it was prominent that we as PopX, honor and mention Sidney Poitier as well.
Yeah, and the fact that we've had so many that we're kind of forgetting who all, because the final one that really no one could forget is Betty White, who is not only an icon on screen, but an icon off screen, one of the most genuinely wonderful human beings. And the fact that she was able to get to the age, I believe, what was it, 99?
90.
Her 100th birthday was this week.
Yeah, It was 99, bro.
I believe Google honored her and had some fancy thing you could type in, and it would have a thank you for being a friend.
But, I mean, with Gaspard Ulliel, you guys are seeing this picture on screen right now. He's such a young actor, and my gosh, it was just a lot has happened in the past 3 weeks, guys. Bob Saget, Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and now Gaspard. It's just crazy. But our condolences and love are sent to you guys.
Let's just hope we're done for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle any more than that. But
yes, please.
Moving along with the news, guys. This one came out just yesterday. Microsoft exerts its pelvic thrust into the gaming world this week with the acquisition of the largest gaming producers on the planet, Activision. Now, guys, Activision has been around since Atari's Pitfall. Do you guys have realized how old Activision is?
Oh, yeah. It's got a history.
Microsoft announced that it had agreed to acquire Activision and Blizzard, its parent company, as in the creators of Call of Duty. I've got questions there because I am on a PS5. Anyway, Warcraft, Candy Crush, Tony Hawk, Diablo, Overwatch, Crash Bandicoot, and so much more. And once the deal closes, the Activision Blizzard business will report up to Phil Spencer as the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Until the transaction goes through, Activision and Microsoft Gaming will operate independently. Now, that's a big thing there to be able. It's not going to happen right away. Think about how when Fox and Disney, the acquisition of Fox and Disney. It's a big process. And so the acquisition is described as an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Disney paid $62 billion for Fox. So this one topples it by $5 billion. Now, when you think about just the scale of that, it's hard to accurately describe the magnitude of this deal should it go through, and it is expected to go through because, of course, the government has to sign off on that. Because anytime you've got these major, this is a big
takeover thing.
Yeah, you're talking stock market acquisitions. You've got all this stuff happening here in the background. So the acquisition would see Blizzard Entertainment, Beanox, Demonware, Digital Legends, High Noon Studios, Infinity Ward, King, Major League Gaming, Radical Entertainment, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Toys for Bob, Treyarch, and more report solely to Phil Spencer. Now, according to the press release, the closing of the transaction is expected to happen in the fiscal year 2023. So this is not something that's going to happen next week or next month. This is a process, just like Lindsay just said. As noted above, the two companies will continue to operate independently until then, and it will still need to make up through the regulatory review, shareholder approval. I just talked about stocks and all that. And Activision and Blizzard acquisition is just the latest high-profile purchase by Microsoft. Get this, just last year, Microsoft acquired Bethesda Softworks and Zeniax Media, which concluded at the end of last year. Bethesda has created what?
Fallout, anyone?
Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom.
My goodness.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Half-Life is included in that as well.
There's a lot of titles that they are now putting their crown on.
I bet I'm literally telling you right now, I believe that Sony Entertainment is probably crapping a brick right about now.
Yeah.
Because one of their biggest money, I mean, Sony has their own brand of entertainment, but they really relied a lot off these third-party companies like Activision to provide.
Ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's how they got the money, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean that Joe Burke is going to have to officially own a piece of Microsoft gaming poop?
Maybe it shows.
Oh God, I think
time will
I just threw up in my mouth. Anyway,
sticky.
So, what do you guys think about this acquisition? Leave a comment in the chat room below over here on PopX.live. Let us know what you think. If you're listening to the podcast, how do you feel about this? How is it going to affect your gameplay? We want to know about it. Leave us a comment.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to talk about a little King of the Hill. When's the last time you heard of that name pop up in the conversation?
Dang it, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby.
King of the Hill is the latest series to be getting a revival.
Ooh.
That's fun. All right, so both Greg Daniels and Mike Judge have decided to form a new animation company called Bandera Entertainment. And it has a bunch of series in development right now, but none of them are bigger than King of the Hill, which one of the earliest members of the now iconic Fox animation block, Judge and Daniels, led fans through years of weekly stories about the Hill family. And of course, Adult Swim's programming block also ended with helping the show reach an entirely new generation of viewers. That continued life in syndication as a huge reason why we're here now talking about King of the Hill.
Pretty much.
In some comments in The Hollywood Reporter, Daniel says that they wanted in on the animation renaissance going on right now, we're very excited to be going into different tones and different styles and trying to expand the animation art form, Daniel's explained. We're in a golden age for content, right? That's animation too, and was one of the things we were talking about in founding the company. Let's push animation into all of these different genres. I think that's brilliant.
I think it is too.
Have you guys noticed the different the influx of animation and the different stylings?
Yeah. Well, use Masters of the Universe, for example.
Yes, I was about to.
Kevin Smith.
The art in that is phenomenal. It's
beautiful. Could you imagine though, King of the Hill done? Mike Judge has got his signature style. Our users are seeing it. It was formed out of Beavis and Butthead. Essentially, his style. Mike Judge is the creator and founder of Beavis and Butthead, and so, and Daria knows. Yeah, Daria knows.
Oh my
best.
gosh, American Dad, the whole
lineup.
There's a ton of titles.
But this excites me because I love me some Boomhauer, and I'm just excited to see Boomhauer back in new stories and new shows. So this is pretty awesome. Yeah. Marco over in the chat, Austin is the best. Marco, I really couldn't disagree with you. Austin is the best.
He's pretty great.
He makes my loins tingle with a fervent sensation.
I don't have any tingling, but he's still pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of tingling going on.
No tingling?
No tingling? Okay.
No.
All right. Austin, what you got for us next?
Sorry.
I just wanted to tingle.
Okay.
Emmy-winning actor Louis Anderson is reportedly, and we're bringing it back down a little bit, undergoing treatment for blood cancer. The news was confirmed by his representative to Rolling Stone, who revealed that he has been diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, the most common type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Anderson, whose work includes Baskets and Life with Louis, has previously been candid about his health, including 2 procedures in 2003 to correct an unspecified heart issue. I started the pandemic at about 370 or 380 pounds, depending on what I was leaning on, Anderson joked during an appearance on Conan in 2021. And now I'm 340. I'm trying to get to 275 so I can get into some of my mom's actual clothes. Louis Anderson, hey, we wish you well in your fight. That is a tough disease, man. Anytime you hear that, you just immediately start thinking about whoever's having to suffer through that.
It's true.
Louis is just one of those unforgettable personalities.
He's a comic genius.
Immediately who that is without even,
Yeah, his voice. And our users are looking at an image right now. I actually met Louis Anderson. One of my many trips out to the Las Vegas Strip, Alex and I and a host of Blue Man friends, we got to go crash his show and have some fun. We had our own Blue Man Group VIP box right in front of Louis Anderson, and there was many nods and pokes and prods about Blue Man Group and sexual activities that I can't mention on PopXcast because Louis Anderson is Louis Anderson. But I got a picture. That's my wife and myself and some friends in the background with us in Las Vegas with Mr. Louis Anderson. Pretty awesome. Yeah, it's very awesome. But we wish you well, man, and I hope everything goes well. Yeah. I hate to hear that, but it is. I hear that the prognosis is good for Louis. So there we go.
Great.
All right, moving along here. We got one more for you, and then we're going to get into the retro rewind. This one now, guys. Yeah. All right, Lindsay, Austin, chat, everybody. Have you ever had an impulse buy?
Oh, today.
Today?
No. In the past 20 days, 30 days. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So this one is probably going to be an impulse buy once I mention you exactly what it is, because I actually ended up dropping $30 on it today. Richard Donner's classic adventure, The Goonies, celebrates its 35th anniversary in 2020. Now, that was its 35th. Now, about a year and a half later, Warner Brothers celebrated by giving the film the proper 4K treatment. In fact, there's an Amazon gift series that's included with a reproduction of the One-Eyed Willie treasure map. All right, you get that in this thing. You also get, if I'm not mistaken, you get some buttons. You get an embroidered exclusive patch with the pirate logo on front of it. That's pretty dope.
I know somebody's vest is getting.
It's going to be on here tomorrow because it's coming in the morning. As a matter of fact, it's scheduled for delivery at 4 a.m. tonight or in the morning. But anyway, so moving on here, you also get an exclusive Willie's One-Eyed Willie's treasure chest that the discs are in. So users in the chat are kind of seeing what this whole setup looks like. Now, guys, here's the kicker. It's this weekend only. All right, the sale started yesterday and will run through to Sunday. This is usually $49.99. $29.99. I have the link already. It's already pinned in the chat.
5 easy payments.
Now the 4K, the 4K alone, the actual, they went through frame by frame, restored it professionally, properly.
Great.
They did the whole thing. It's usually $22 right now if you just buy the 4K.
Sure.
The gift set is $29. It's kind of a no-brainer. You kind of want to pay the $7 and get the whole thing. There is a digital code that's included, and now we usually don't promote or endorse, but we just did the Goonies on the Retro Rewind last year, and it's just kind of fitting that you can purchase this right now on Amazon Prime for $29, guys, before tax. It's a heck of a deal, and so I wanted you guys to know about that if you're into the Goonies and some retro goodness. And if you got a 4K player and a way to see a 4K movie in your home, you gotta get this. Okay.
Goonies is my friend Sam's favorite movie of all time.
Oh, dude.
So I am legitimately going to buy this for him. I'm not.
You need to. I mean, the link is right there in the chat. You can see it. I mean, you just click on it's an Amazon short URL. You go straight to it, buy it, bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah.
But guys, are you ready for a little retro rewind?
Be kind, rewind. Let's
Be
go.
kind, rewind. I liked you, Lindsay Badger. Okay, we'll be right back. Retro rewind starts right now.
Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind.
The Retro Rewind, and ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about none other than Tron 1982. My gosh. Right off the bat, you guys need to know a few things about this movie that you may not know. And I actually wrote down a few things in my acquired vastness of retro nerdy knowledge. The film at its time was considered groundbreaking and has inspired several individuals in numerous ways. Now, one of those individuals, you may know this name, John Lasseter, head of Pixar and Disney's animation group, described Tron as being the film that helped him see the potential of computer-generated imagery and production of animated films. So, stating, with his own words, without Tron, there would be no Toy Story. Ooh.
That's pretty big.
I like John. He's a good fella.
He's cool, right? He's a cool cat. Yeah, and here's another one for you. I got two little tidbits here, two more. Tron is developed into a cult film that was ranked as the 13th in 2010's list of the top 20 cult films published by the Boston Globe. Now, that's a big accolade. And here's one that a lot of people may or may not know. Despite grossing $50 million worldwide, no, I believe that's domestically, it was $77 million worldwide, the calculated merchandise sale, it was kind of a financial disappointment. And actually, Disney Studios wrote off the remainder of its $17 million budget. Didn't even meet it. So, sadly enough, it was received well. I remember Siskel and Ebert gave it great reviews, but I remember other magazines like Variety kind of giving it a little bit of a harsh go at it. So it wasn't at the time. It was just so ahead of its time. Nobody knew how to understand it. And you're thinking about, you're in a computer movie where you're talking about ROM and RAM, and these things didn't really know what you were talking about in 1982 because the general public didn't understand computers like we do today. Well ahead of its time. But I want to go immediately down to Lindsay this time. Open it up. New year, ladies first. Lindsay, what did you think about Tron?
I have respect for this movie just because of the time it came out and what it did. I feel that the storytelling is not so great.
I couldn't agree with you there.
The storytelling is rough. Okay, so if you're sitting down and watching it and expecting to be fully encapsulated into the story from beginning to end, you're gonna have a rough journey.
It's gonna be a little challenging.
But if you can take a step back and just look at it overall as a piece of art and technology.
That's a good way to put it.
And where they were pushing the limits in the film industry in trying to experiment with new techniques and ways of telling stories in a different viewpoint that you probably wouldn't get normally in 1982. I can give it some thumbs up there, but man, it was tough to sit through. And Josh and myself watched it together because I don't know if Josh has actually seen the original one. I know he's seen the newer one. I've seen Tron, but it was so long ago I forgot about it. So I knew going into it that it was going to be kind of a slow burn for me.
True.
But then by the time we get to the end, I'm like nodding off a little bit. And
yeah, I get
I'm
it.
like, and then I started getting confused because at the final scene, the third act, whenever you're going up to the main computer guy and you're fighting him and whatever, and then there's this chick that you don't meet until the very end of the movie, and then all of a sudden she's making out with the guy like it's some love interest. It was just like very confusing, very quick, very sporadic, and I'm like not following the logical point to point of the story, and I was just like, my brain kind of gave up on it. And I'm like, all right, we're done.
Can I help you with a little bit of that?
Please.
All right. So the characters that you see in the computer verse,
yes,
they are counterparts to their actual person and they programmed in the real world. So Alan, who is the guy with the glasses that goes to see Flynn, is actually Tron because Alan programmed a program called Tron that actually underseeds the main security program. The lady in the film is another programmer for MCON, and she wrote a program, and that was her name. So the likeness of the programmer is in the computer world.
Yes, I understood that.
Flynn, the main guy, Jeff Bridges' character, had a relationship with her in the real world, but now she's dating Alan. All right. And so he really wanted to go back with her, and that's why he kissed her at the end, because even though he can't kiss her in the real world, he wanted one last kiss with her in the artificial world.
Yeah. See, I kind of missed all of that.
Yeah.
I think my brain was just like, no more.
That's what I mean, though. You see what I mean?
My eyes kind of got tired because of staring at the neon for a long period of time.
I can stare at neon for a long time.
I think that was part of it, because my brain was just like, shut down.
No, I get it. But if you ever get a chance, Lindsay, to go back and watch it, think about Tron as a parallel to the human world.
Yeah, I know.
And have that concept. I mean, that's what I meant when I said Tron was ahead of its time, that nobody in 82 could understand the concept.
Yeah, I definitely see that viewpoint.
If you watch it one time, you will be confused. If you watch it a second time, it will make a little more sense with an open mind. But I understand what you're saying, though. I'm going to go ahead and let you continue. I'm sorry.
No, that's pretty much all I was going to say. I was just like, I respect it for the benchmarks that it made, but I didn't really enjoy watching it as a movie in general. So
no worries.
That's pretty much what my review on it.
Okay, I got you. Austin?
Yeah, so this is one that I hadn't seen in a long time. It was early days of high school when I watched this movie, because I had to prepare for Tron Legacy, which I still think the score / soundtrack to Tron Legacy is one of the greatest of all time.
Amazing. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And being a little bit more of a modern, I think I enjoy the sequel more, but I also really like going back and rewatching this one again after seeing that one more recently, kind of looking at it as a prequel. I appreciate what this was able to do. Now, in the same camp as Lindsay, I didn't necessarily think this was all that great. And I understand what you said about the storytelling, Lindsay, but I'm going to look at the story itself and say, even, the visuals, obviously, but maybe even the story is more ahead of its time than any aspect of this movie. Because what Joe was just saying, the idea of these individuals being paralleled in, it almost feels like in another dimension.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way they approach it. That was one of the most interesting sci-fi ideas I've seen in a while. And the crazy thing about this movie, you look at that aspect of the story, and then you look at the visuals, and I don't think the visuals hold up very well.
They don't.
No. But have you seen a movie like Tron, other than the sequel, since Tron. I haven't.
No.
You know what I mean? I haven't really seen. Now, we've seen movies take concepts from Tron, countless films like the idea of technology rising up against us. We've seen that idea plucked.
The Lawnmower Man. The Lawnmower Man is a good example of that.
Ready Player One is very similar in concept.
Yes. Yes. So you can see, I think you can see the influences from this movie vastly amongst like early 2000s, early 2010s type sci-fi movies. And I think that's where I look at this film and say, you know what, that's actually really impressive, because these other films, they haven't replicated the exact formula.
Yeah.
They've taken from that formula.
Yeah.
And for Tron to do it in that way, that's why I was watching this movie, and obviously it's great to see Jeff Bridges early on. It's great to see.
He was a sexy young man, wasn't he?
He was.
You should watch Starman. You guys should watch Starman with John
was like,
Carpenter. It's great.
I haven't seen Starman in a while.
Dude, Starman's on Amazon Prime right now. It's
Okay.
it's a great feel-good movie. Really.
He's a beast.
I love
he's a beast.
I love
And
Jeff Bridges.
Joe, you were talking about that relationship established. I actually really liked the chemistry between when they first have that encounter and he's coming out, putting a shirt on and all that stuff. And you can tell there's some tension, a little three-way relationship there, right? So for me, even though visually there's really nothing else like Tron, which I'm impressed with, for me, the more interesting stuff was what was happening outside of the Tron world, because that's kind of where you start to comprehend what's actually going on. So when they go back into the Tron world, it's a little much for me. It was a little too cheesy at times, a little too like, okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I look at Star Wars coming out and that doing it in the way that worked really well for me, and then this at the same time. But I go back to my original point. You can tell a lot has come from this movie, and seeing it now, being impressed with that aspect of it, I think it's one that, and we had the sequel, and even the sequel didn't do great, but it in itself has almost become a cult classic. To the point to where they actually recently announced a third movie starring Jared Leto. This was a couple of years ago, that hasn't been talked about ever since they bought Fox, but I feel like it's going to come back into the conversation eventually. So this franchise keeps going for a reason.
Also too, and I'm going to say that Disney World Orlando is in about 4 months ready to launch the Tron roller coaster.
Yes.
And so there is going to be an entire land of Tron at the Magic Kingdom in Future World. So it's going to be amazing, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't got a Disney Pass yet. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Now, it was something about, and I'm going to say this, and then we'll move on to Cobra Kai. But there was some kind of, the graphics are cheesy. I mean, a way they're using kind of reflective tape to create those like glowing patterns.
But again, at the time,
crazy.
It was really cool.
It had never been done before.
I mean?
It never been done before.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of like the identity discs and just, a user being able to go into the platform that they're building. And it's just crazy. And then, in Tron Legacy, we understand what happened to Clue. We thought Clue had died in Tron 1, but Clue actually rose to power. And Clue is a mirror image of Flynn, because Flynn designed him and programmed him to be and make and think exactly like Flynn. So it's really interesting. So I love what you said, though, Austin. A lot of these concepts, like Ready Player One, for example, are literally plopped and plucked right from the movie Tron, because, again, Tron was so far ahead of its time, nobody knew how to understand it or interpret it. What is ROM? What is RAM? What is Clue? What is a program? What is a master program? Right. Nobody understood that. We do now. But anyway, so let's go ahead and review this, and we're going to move into Cobra Kai because, oh my God, we got to talk some Terry Silver here. Lindsay Badger, what is your rating for Tron?
4.2.
Okay, all right.
I think it's
on the low end. So, all right, that's Austin Burke.
I'm gonna go rock solid 6 out of 10. I think
6 out of 10.
It's a film that's fun to watch. I mean, again, I do wish I could have been more invested in certain aspects of the storytelling, but as a story, as an impressive piece of, you said it, Joe, art?
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid. I'm going to go about a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I do love the film. I love the, I think I like the story more than I like the visuals.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's fair to say.
I agree.
I think Tron Legacy was able to amp up the visuals with the story. They finally married the two, and they got it right. But that's it for us on the Retro Rewind. If you guys have seen Tron recently, the 1982 version, it's actually streaming right now on Disney Plus, which is where we all saw it, and so is the sequel, Tron Legacy, and the animated series as well. Be sure to head over there and let us know what you think about it in the PopX.live chat room. If you're listening on the audio podcast, please drop us a comment or reply back on our podcast feed and let us know what you think about it, all right? So, with all that said, they should have left Jared Leto in the house of Gucci.
You guys heard
John
Jared Leto's accent in House of Gucci. He talks like this.
Oh no, it's like an animated Mario.
Oh,
Bring that into Tron 3, please.
Oh no, that's not.
No.
That's like what is that? The Merovingian in Matrix. I want to get you. I want to get you so bad.
Like that.
Anyway, oh my gosh, it is so good to see everybody here hanging out in the chat room. I appreciate that. Are you guys ready for some Cobra Kai?
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to roll the spoiler alert warning. If you have not seen Cobra Kai Season 4, you might want to hit the pause button, watch it, then come back. All right? We'll be right back.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been warned.
You have been warned, and warning. Let me send this message here. We got the chat rooms blowing up here. I want to say a huge shout out to John Parr from Barger. He's no stranger to PopXcast. Got the Comics Clash hanging out with us. Michael Murray. We got Laugh with Jane. What's up, Jane? How you doing? And we got Harshit Sharma hanging out with us as well. Thanks for hangs. Appreciate it.
Can I give a shout out to John really quick?
Please.
John was getting really nerdy with me the other day. We did a little hangout on Patreon, brought some people on, right? And John and I were talking about one of our favorite movies from 2021.
Okay.
And it's called Coda, which is a beautiful film about a girl who lives in a deaf family. And the star of that film, who plays the young girl, John found out that the movie that we just talked about on PopXcast, The Snowman, you know the guy who sang the song in The Snowman?
Alid yeah.
Okay, his daughter is the star of Coda, one of my favorite movies from last year. It's going to get an Oscar nomination because we were talking about how good of a singer she was, and John was like, listen to this nerd nugget. And he told me, and I'm like,
oh my gosh,
God,
that is a nerd
find
nugget.
that out. So
The
his
daughter
is
of
actually
Alid, who
a
sang
big-time
Walking in the Air.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good going,
Dude, he
John.
tied it all in. I'm like,
Nerd
John,
nugget.
My God.
come on, man.
I got to watch Coda now. What the heck?
It's amazing.
Nerd nugget.
Where is it? Is it streaming anywhere?
It is streaming on Apple TV Plus.
I have Apple TV Plus.
It's a girl who wants to be a singer. Her whole family is deaf, but she's pursuing her dreams anyway. Dude, beautiful film. Beautiful.
You reviewed
9
it
out of 10.
already? 9 out of 10?
It's incredible.
Okay.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, we're talking Cobra Kai here. As you can see, John Kreese right there with Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, Terry Silver. Guys, I had a freaking blast with this series.
This was a great
This
season.
was the best season yet, I believe, for Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never dies, guys. This is amazing what they're doing with this. I mean, yeah, there's some cheese factor. Oh my God, there's some, but it's done so well. And I think
There has to be a little cheese with karate movies.
Tell me.
shows. I mean,
especially when you're dealing with the Karate Kid franchise. I mean, you're dealing with retro 80s topics with a new millennial audience, you know. Austin, I went with Lindsay on Tron. I want to go with you.
Yeah.
Give us a little breakdown. What are some of your, all right, give us first what you likes, and give us some things you may have not liked from your perspective as a film critic.
Sure. Well, we talk about cheese, but how many shows and movies have we seen bring back these classic 80s and 90s shows that have just botched it in its execution, right? It tries to be cheesy, not the right execution. Or it's trying to be too serious. Well, we need our cheese. It's from the 80s, right? Cobra Kai is a beautiful marriage of those things. And we really haven't seen anything like it. And I don't know if we'll see anything else like it. It's awesome in that way. Now, this season was fascinating because where we end off in the season prior is Daniel and Johnny, they're now having to combine forces, come together, bring the dojos together, and go up against this huge, massive force in Kreese. And Kreese is, of course, bringing over people that have since left the dojos that we know and love. So joining, we think it's going to be this easy thing. And in the first episode, we already realize, oh gosh, it's going to be difficult because they don't get along.
That's exactly right. Yep.
And they make that very evident to the point to where later on in the season, they have a battle themselves, which was pretty cool. And they knocked each other out. There's no winner. I'm so glad you hit that because there's no equal. There's no one greater than the other. Did you notice there's a little yin and yang, a perfect balance? There is. Yep. All right, go ahead and continue. Oh, beautiful. And this, this whole show up until this point has been all about how am I going to take what I have been taught and apply it to my everyday life? This season, I think, goes a step further with that. Now I'm being taught two different things. So now I don't know if I go this way with Johnny or this way with Caruso. You know what I mean? It's like, and how, as a kid, how are they going to process this?
Yeah.
So we're moving on. We're learning all this crazy stuff about these characters, but we're starting to kind of come around on certain characters that maybe we haven't been the biggest fans of thus far, and vice versa. We have other characters that are kind of going the opposite direction. So I just thought it was really creative and even introducing new characters who is getting bullied at the beginning, but then it turns out by the time we get to the end, a beautiful character arc, by the way.
Yeah.
He turns into the BA character. And there's actually a lot of people have been saying this young actor, which I need to find his name, would be a great Miles Morales.
Ooh.
I heard that before. Several different people commenting about that.
I like it.
I'm
That's
for
a
it.
good call, bro.
Yes.
That kid,
right age.
He's got the physical stature.
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet, man. So I think my biggest problem with this season is there were some things that were so overdone, whether it be, jumping off of a building or certain elements that are pushing that realism a bit too much. Like, I like to push it. I like the cheese, but I think season 4 maybe pushes it more than we've ever seen it before. But at the end of the day, what matters is the story and kind of culminating with that All Valley tournament at the end and the way that plays out. And I was trying to predict the winners. I was right on a couple of them, but for the most part, it plays out in kind of an unexpected way. And then that twist at the end.
Let's talk a little bit about that too. I want to make sure we got a little time for Lindsay to chime in here as well. But I thought it was really interesting how John Kreese's character went to pursue Terry Silver over and over and over again. Almost like, how Kreese has that way of just playing that mental game with you until you have nowhere else to turn, and that thought is not going to leave your head until you do it.
Yes. Well,
spoiler alert warning, we're going to fast forward to that last episode and talk about the last 10 minutes of the final episode. In a plot twist none of us saw coming, John Kreese is framed for an act that he didn't commit, and it was Terry Silver the entire time who framed his own co-partner. I just thought that was just, and now leading into season 5, I can kind of see where the wheels are going to be turning on that, because Terry Silver is going to be the embodiment of Cobra Kai, the worst of it. And I want to say it, Austin and Lindsay, I kind of see John Kreese kind of being the good guy coming back with Danny and Johnny.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about that is we got those flashbacks last season, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I'm like, are they trying to make us feel sympathetic for Kreese? But when that happened to him at the end, I felt that sympathy.
Yeah, I felt bad for the dude, man.
I did.
It's like, dude, he didn't do anything. He just, and you can also see there's little nuggets in season 4 where when Terry is undermining him and saying things about Kreese.
Yeah.
Do you guys pick up on that? It's like 3 times.
Yeah, he was like slowly building that.
Yeah,
bridge,
and John Kreese would just look back at him like, what? And you would just see that there's
like, excuse me?
It's almost like a really beautiful character arc with John Kreese's character where it's going to take Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso and Kreese to take down Silver and Cobra Kai.
Right.
Lindsay Badger, go for it.
I've been agreeing with everything that you guys have been saying thus far, but I like to point out a couple of character developments that we got through this series that I really am glad we got. We got Tori to calm down just a notch. Thank God, because I was about over it with her. She came a little more human.
That look
this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's intentionally supposed to be, be angsty, angry. The world's against her. Everything's carrying on her shoulders, and she's pissed about it.
It always looks like she crapped her pants when she gets mad.
She always has that, the furrowed brow thing. But we're starting to find a level of peace in the tension between her and Samantha. A little bit, which was nice. She's Samantha's mom. What's her name? Amanda LaRusso.
Yeah.
It was I didn't see that happening.
No,
where
I
she
didn't
was going
see
to step in and help Tori, but I'm glad that she did, because she now has support that she didn't ever have before, so she's not attacking the world alone, essentially.
And she went to ask her for help. That was a big step.
I love how that show in general kind of the adults are reaching into the kids' lives and trying to lift them up whenever they're going through all these tough stuff. We went through that with Robbie at the beginning in season 1, getting him into the right places, and LaRusso kind of taking him under his wing. And so now we're kind of having that moment with Tori in this season. So I really enjoyed that. The prom thing was kind of cheesy, but I mean, that's the 80s cheese that you want and need in the series like this. And I really enjoyed the character flip of Eli. I think he really stood out to me.
Eli was great.
I did not expect him to be basically the star of the tournament. That was very much unpredictable.
And his whole character was just robbed from him.
Yeah.
It was just sad,
the whole losing of the mohawk and the whole personality flip. I really enjoyed that. I know Robbie has always been like at the forefront of this series, and I'm glad that he kind of took the back seat a little bit.
Yes.
And we got to focus on other kids, which I really, really liked. And that Samantha's character wasn't always about trying to prove things to her dad, even though she still had some of that. She was more about searching for a path within herself and what was right for her.
Yeah.
Which I really liked that as well. There's a lot of things happening in this. I really loved to hate Mr. Silver. I mean, that's really the only
his
purpose
character,
of his
though.
Existence.
You gotta hate the
John,
guy.
I mean, and I was with you too. The empathy came at the end for John Kreese whenever the cops came to pull him over or take him to jail or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still, he's not going to team up. There's no way. They may get him out of jail, but there's no way that they're going to team up.
Here's the thing, Lindsay, and I'm not going to be contradictory, but Silver's goal was to have multiple Cobra Kais all over the entire valley.
Right.
And with Kreese in prison, he's got the money.
Yes.
And he's going to do it.
He has the power. Yeah.
And Kreese is not going to be able to take it back, because it's going to be Cobra Kai. I think it might be the death of Cobra Kai, because if you think about it because the only way to take down Cobra Kai is to take down Silver. But if there's so many other Cobra Kais out there, and other legions and other members and stuff like that, and you have little pods of all over the city, you not just got this one group of kids now. You've got 10 Cobra Kais.
Yeah.
Whereas you got one Miyagi-Do. It's just like, whoa, what's going on here?
So we finally got, I think, some settling between Daniel and Johnny on it's okay to do it your way.
Yeah.
Which I really think was great moving forward. So we kind of got that beef out of the way a little bit, and I think they're going to embrace each other's techniques a little bit more in the future. So that bringing him in is a possibility. I just don't see him and Johnny working through that and getting along at all. But
Kreese may not have a big role in season 5, but one person that will have a big role in season 5. Did you remember the last 30 seconds when Daniel is at the grave of Mr. Miyagi?
Oh, right.
And he's like, we're going to need everybody. We're going to need your help. And so the original, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's the original actor from Karate Kid 2.
He's the kid he fought in Japan.
Right. And
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name.
his
Maybe
name
John
either.
or somebody in the chat can help us out with that.
The actor or the character? I think the character's name is Chosen. I'm pretty sure.
Chosen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But I don't know the actor's name.
I don't know. Not the
Chosen
actors. I just need to know.
Okimoto.
Yes.
Okimoto. Okay.
Something. Yeah, Okimoto is the actor's.
So it looks like Daniel and Chosen are going to be.
That's so cool.
My heart absolutely shattered for Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Whenever
goodness. Yeah.
he was putting so much effort into trying to form a relationship with Johnny, and Johnny is just so hyper focused on Robbie that his whole energy is so like channel visioned, and Miguel finally realizes that it's just like, oh, all right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Poffenbarger fun fact for you.
Oh,
another
more
crazy,
nuggets.
another crazy fact for you all. Did you know that actor that plays Terry Silver is actually younger than Ralph What? What is younger than Ralph Macchio in real life? Crazy. What?
No.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
That's crazy. Man, he looks good.
I mean,
good.
What is Ralph? Is what? He's in his 50s now.
I mean,
he has to be.
I
don't know. I'm not going to Google this in the middle of the show. Maybe our tech wizard Poffenbarger can do it. But
here's a question for you guys. Do we have any other cameos expected coming up in the future?
Oh man, I hope so. Let's see. We're pulling from Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3. Man, I don't know if there's any other characters unless they're like one of the female acquaintances of Daniel. Yeah. I don't really force because
the first story we had like the love interest and of course John Kreese coming in.
Silver is 59, Daniel is 60, and
Ralph. That is unbelievable.
Good
that
God, bro!
And he's doing all his action scenes and everything.
Ralph is 60 years old.
It's incredible. Wow.
Ralph Macchio is 60 years old.
That's wow. Ralph could be my dad.
And you know what's so cool though, and you know you could look at
Dad.
Father. Are you dad? Just don't call him
Dad.
That's the okay. Just don't say daddy. But you look at all these actors; they're doing their own stunts, and sometimes it's obvious during the fight scenes. But it doesn't bother me as much because they're doing their own stunts, and the way these directors go
with the
about
exception of Kreese.
That's
yeah.
true.
Season 2, we saw some backhead shots. It wasn't.
That's true. But for the most part, I mean, you could tell that someone like a Terry Silver, maybe they weren't as seasoned as they used to be, but they're still getting them in there and doing it, man. And it's most shows and movies don't do this with all of their actors. A rare appearance by a stunt double. So
and we're talking too, pretty much even Daniel's mother, who played in the original Karate Kid, has a cameo here. So every actor has been on board except,
I forgot about her.
you know, Mr. Miyagi, of course, who passed away several years ago. But I mean, the legacy of that is obviously continuing on. But it's just an amazing franchise that we get to be alive to see something that is tapping on the heartstrings of the 80s kid inside of us.
Absolutely.
But also appealing to the youth of today. It's amazing, and it's a perfect marriage of, like you said, Austin, of cheese and fun, and nostalgia and modern, and appealing to the young people. I mean, this is great.
Definitely relevant.
It's very relevant. Thank you. That's the word I'm trying to juggle around in my head. Amazing. It's just good, and I think honestly, if a lot of shows would. If in this Renaissance, we were just talking about the Renaissance revival with King of the Hill and Mike Judge and all that, it would be good if they used Cobra Kai as like, this is how you do it.
Yes.
This is how it works, a balance. Yeah. And I think that Cobra Kai is literally setting forth a template that is kind of wowing everybody at this point. And I'm loving every minute of it. I may go back and watch season 4 all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I think our next episode is going to be on Boba Fett. We need to definitely talk about Book of Boba Fett. Because I haven't watched the latest today. I need to watch episode 4.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it, nobody.
I'll be watching it tomorrow, so it's on.
Okay. But guys, any closing thoughts or remarks on Cobra Kai Season 4? Did I miss anything? Is there anything that we haven't talked about?
I feel like we pretty well covered it. I don't
Yeah.
think there was a lot missed there. I mean, we covered the tournament, we covered the dojos coming together and coming apart.
Well, the tournament, maybe that too. The female lead and Cobra Kai finally won the Valley tournament.
I liked the new categories they added, and they added in skills.
Skills,
like with
skill-based,
weapons and
skill-based,
Stuff, which is
yeah.
actually legit stuff.
That was
But
cool.
then catching the referee cheating at the end.
Oh,
when
that
he
was
handed
shady.
him
Oh, we
money.
can't talk about that too. Yeah, but that was Terry Silver's doing.
Yeah, that was Silver's.
That was Silver's doing.
That fishy call there earlier in the battle, I'm like, man, that's. And even as a fan watching, I'm like, that's a bad call. But it turns out
It
on
was
purpose.
actually a paid referee.
Boy.
So the truth is going to come out that the All Valley ref is part of Terry Silver's back
That'll
pocket.
definitely affect things.
That's going to be crazy. I can't wait Season 5. It can't come any sooner, and be honest with you. I mean, come on. I mean, they need to do this stuff. But some shows I'm currently watching right now, I want to let you guys know what is on Job's Tube right quick. I am finishing up on
Oh, right.
Vikings.
John mentioned Carrie Underwood music
Oh, yeah, that was
video there.
I didn't remember that.
I forgot all about Carrie Underwood doing the opening
my
ceremony.
Oklahoma native shout out.
Yeah, boy.
What?
But I'm currently finishing up Vikings. I'm on Season 5, going into Season 6. Vikings is amazing. I'm also watching Book of Boba Fett. I finished up Witcher 2 weeks ago. Witcher Season 2.
Witcher's
Phenomenal.
So
There's some good stuff out right now, guys. Some good stuff. But with all that said, you guys ready to review Cobra Kai Season 4?
Let's do it.
All right, Austin, we'll go with you first.
Any show that can survive 2 seasons on YouTube Red is impressive. You guys remember that? Because it was not a Netflix original. They bought it.
I do remember that.
That is so impressive. So my score for this season, I'm actually going up. I did go back, Joe. You mentioned going back and rewatching it. I went back and watched the whole season again. So
Did
I'm
you
going
really?
an 8.5 with my score.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. It's what a great show, man. What
That's
a great show.
awesome. Lindsay Badger.
I honestly don't even. I'm going 8.6. I'm just going to one up you, Austin, because why not?
Well, what the hell? I'll go 8.7.
There you go.
Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I had more fun with Season 4 than I've had with the entire franchise so far.
They're so, I mean, they're
Dude,
so
it's
good.
so,
Like,
it's so good.
which kid is my favorite? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
season 1, season 4, like, what do we do?
It's amazing. So, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and talking a little Cobra Kai action. As you can tell, we're all very passionate about it, and we want to know what you guys think about Cobra Kai. Be sure to leave your review. You can review it. Why not? You're PopX family.
It's a free country.
Drop that number in the chat room. Let us know. If you're listening on the audio podcast, hey, let us know in the chat. Leave us a comment on whatever platform that you're doing. Just respond back. I love Cobra Kai. I give it a blah blah blah, and we'll appreciate that. But anyway, we want to use shout out to the chat room is still going on. Jeremy Stoltz just makes
Shout
it
out
in
to Jeremy coming in at the end. He'll have to catch the replay.
Yep, he's always catching the tail end of everything. God bless his heart.
He likes that tail.
He does like tail.
Wait, what?
Yes, Jeremy likes
no,
tail.
that's
And
not,
tie.
That's not what you said.
He likes tail tie.
Maybe.
It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Alrighty, let's wrap this thing up here, guys. Are you ready?
Yay.
Somebody's got to wrap it up. I think it's Austin's wrapping it
I'll
up.
do it. Let's wrap it up, guys.
Okay,
Like a Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm Austin Burkout, the Burkinator. You guys can search and find me MySpace or something. We are part of a newly formed creative group known as the Creative Multiverse.
MySpace.
For more great media, content, artwork, and more, find us on Facebook groups and now on Discord at the Creative Multiverse. If you are a creative, produce content, or have a talent, we want to see it. Show us. And we would like for you to share it with us in the multiverse. Man, multiverse, that's a popular concept right now.
You like
All
that?
right, so I like that.
Well,
There's lots of things. In the
it's
multiverse.
a lot of things and things and things. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Speaking of multiverse, we're on multiple social media platforms. If you'd like
true.
to find us,
MySpace.
we're on Facebook, and MySpace, and Instagram, and
Wait,
Tumblr.
we're
and
on
Twitter.
MySpace?
I think we're even on Pinterest. If you look, I'm not 100% sure.
I think we are on Spin.
The handle's at PopXcast if you're curious. Also, we do take emails if you want to send us any comments or suggestions that way. You can,
Nobody emails me, Lindsay.
Well, I mean,
That's sad.
Someone please email us.
I mean,
I don't even.
unless-
I only check my email like once a week.
I
Anyway,
did get
so-
an email last week for penis enlargement.
Oh well, they can send all the penis enlargement promotions.
That
to
was an accident. I was trying to forward that to Madison.
gmail.com.
Sorry. That was...
Austin, don't be showing up in my box like that, bro.
Oh my god.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway.
Stay out of Joe's box. God.
Right. Wrong
All
email.
right, you guys know where to go for all the good stuff, feature, past shows, all the things. Make sure you go to our official website, www.popx.com.
That's it. And of course, I am Joseph Burke, aka at Joseph Burke Arts, all over social media. It's not too difficult to find me if you know how to find me. And of course, hats off to my amazing family here on the screens with me, Team PopX, Lindsay and Austin. I love you guys. You complete me. You make my life worth amazing chimichangas. I appreciate that. And so that's it for this episode of PopX Cast. We will see you next time in 2 weeks for episode 138. And we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Now, the retro rewind is yet to be determined. So we haven't figured that out just quite yet. But we do know we're going to be, by the time we reach that, Austin, is Book of Boba Fett 6 episodes?
That's a good question. I am going to run under that assumption. So I think.
Okay.
You know what? Let me IMDb it.
IMDb it right quick before we log. I want to know.
By while your request
Book
is
of Bob
processing.
Fett.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 7 episodes ending on February 9th. That is the finale.
7 episodes. All right. So, there we go. We will have something to talk about. Faux show. But from all of us here at the Funny Farm, we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. That's his nipple. Oh, wait, I mean, that's Batman.
I'm scared.
That's Batman's nipple.
From everyone at PopXcast. Thank you so much for
listening. Have a good one, guys.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you know when we go live next. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Throw us up a like on Instagram and all those other social media outlets at PopXcast. Until next time.